Margin, padding, borders, what's the difference? Hi, I'm Julia Taylor, CEO and founder of GeekPack, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the difference between margin, padding, and border. And don't worry, when I first started out, I could not tell the difference for the life of me. So I imagine if you're here right now, you're probably in the same boat. I'm going to start out first with a quick explanation, and then I will go into a lot more detail, so keep watching. Okay, so say you have a bit of content. Let's say a headline, and let's just use happy dance as an example. So we've got a headline that says happy dance. So the padding is the space that goes around that bit of content, around that headline that says happy dance. That padding is transparent and it's right around that bit of content. Now the border, as I'm sure you've guessed, is the actual border that goes around that bit of content. So happy dance and the padding. So we've got the content that says happy dance. We've got the padding that goes around that bit of content. And then after that, it's the border. And that actually can have a different color. It can have different weight. So it could be dashed or it could be solid. But that is around content, padding, border. Now for the margin, that is outside the border, and that is also transparent, and it provides space in between the bit of content, so happy dance, and anything that's around it or next to it or on top of it or below it. So we have our content that says happy dance, we have the padding just around the content, we have our border just around that, and then our margin is outside of the border. All right, let's see it in action. Okay, the easiest way to explain the difference between padding, border, and margin is with the CSS box model. At least personally, that's what I think. And I think this makes so much sense once you see it. So here I am on the W3 Schools website with this explanation of the CSS box model. And I just love this bit here. And it just makes so much sense. So the content, it is the content. And for explanation purposes, I'm going to jump over to our GeekPack YouTube demo site. We are going to be using this headline here as an example. So this headline, we capture life's happy moments. That is our content. So keep that in mind, it's here. The padding, it clears an area around the content and it's transparent. The border goes around the padding and the content. And then we got the margin and it clears an area outside the border, which is also transparent. Okay, so here's the CSS box model. Now let's jump back over to the site, and I'm going to use Inspect Tools. I'm going to right click and I'm going to click on Inspect. And this is a really cool feature to kind of get underneath the hood and behind the scenes and see what's going on. So here we are, and if you are looking at this and you're going, hang on, mine doesn't look like that. First of all, it's easiest if you're in the Chrome browser, so make sure you're using the Chrome browser, and you might say to me, wait, hang on, my doc is not showing at the bottom. If that's the case, over here on the right, there's these three little dots. If you click on that, you can move the doc around. So your doc might be on the right. If you want it to be on the bottom, just click on those three little dots, select the bottom, and it will pull up there. Excellent. Okay, so as I said, I want to show you the difference between margin, padding, and border. So I want you to click on this select an element on the page, and it's this little button here on the left, and when I click on that, it turns blue. And then we are going to click on this headline, as I said. So if I click on that, now what I want you to do is over here on the right, this is our CSS. So over here on the right, I want you to scroll all the way down, just keep on going all the way down to the bottom, and look what we have here. How much similar is this to this CSS box model? And that's where it really clicked for me the first time I saw this. So we have our content, we have our padding, we have our border, which there is no border in this case, and then margin. So I want it to be consistent. I'm going to change this just so it makes it super clear and you can kind of see it in action. So right now, this padding has padding of 720 pixels on the right. Let's make that consistent all around. So I'm going to scroll all the way back up, and up here, I'm going to change this. I'm going to say padding And I want it to be, let's say 100 pixels all the way around. Now you can see how different it looks already, but if I scroll all the way down, now we can see there, we've got 100 pixels of our padding all the way around our content. So you can start to see that kind of CSS box model come alive. So next, let's add a border. So again, I'm going to scroll all the way to the top, and I'm going to click in here, and I'm going to say, if I can, there we go, border solid. So there we can see now we have this border, and let's scroll all the way down to the bottom so we can see the CSS box model. So like I said, we've got our content, we've got our padding, 100 pixels all the way around, and then we've got our border. Now it automatically gave it a width of 3 pixels and a color white. We can change that. If I come all the way back up, I could say solid, and then let's say we want it to be 10 pixels. See how much thicker it is? And then maybe we want it to be blue. There we go. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't look great, but you get the point. You can really start to see the CSS box model come alive, and you really start to see the padding, the border, and then next, let's add some margin. So I'm going to come all the way back up, and let's say we want margin, and let's keep it consistent. Let's do 100 pixels all the way around. And you can see how it's already changed. And again, let's scroll all the way down, and we can see it here. I'll lower this a bit so we can see it a little bit better. Perfect. Okay, so we have our content, we have our padding, 100 pixels all the way around, we have our border, and now we have our margin also all the way around 100 pixels. And these you can change, and they can be different for the top and the bottom and the right and the left, but hopefully that gives you a really good understanding of the CSS box model and how it works when you have your content, padding, border, and margin. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're wondering what to watch next, check out my video on the difference between HTML, CSS, and PHP.